Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Off the Record with me, Saman. Here we usually talk about and have students talking about their college life, how they actually adjusted to a new country with the new course, with the food, with the city life and everything, and how it was really great for them to be adjusted in a new country apart from their home countries. So, with two successful episodes back in 2 months, I am really excited to have multiple guests for episode 3. And before we begin, I really wanted to wish everyone a happy Pride Month. And I hope each one of you is celebrating it in a good way because diversity, equity, inclusion is really important for each one of us. And having the community with us is also important. So, with today's episode, we have two of my very, very good friends and who I have worked with community who, are really great in doing their work and who have come up at different junctures in the United States of America. And they would be sharing their experiences of two of the colleges in this episode. So welcome, Kriti and Ruchira. Really, really happy that you are on this episode. And I would really want everyone to know more about you by you yourself. So Kriti, starting with you, if you can introduce yourself and when did you come to the country and what college, what course, and everything if you can tell, and where currently you're working.
Hi everyone, I'm Kriti Kharbanda. So, as someone said, I've known her for long, and we work together in a community called BBWIC. And I come from India. I came to the US in 2021 for my master's, and I chose University of Pittsburgh for my master's. There were multiple reasons why I chose University of Pittsburgh, but the major one was the course, like the course structure. And since UPitt, the University of Pittsburgh, and Carnegie Mellon, they are the sister universities. So my course gave me an option that I can like choose the courses for the credits either from my university or CMU, like a few courses there, which I really like. Like it gave me an option if I don't want to take one particular course at one university, I can just do it at the other university. That was a major attraction for me. And I graduated in December 2022. And now I'm working with ServiceNow as an application security engineer. So, yeah, I think
And where are you currently right now? Like what city?
I'm in Chicago currently. I moved from Pittsburgh to Chicago after I got the job. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Ruchira, over to you.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Saman, for giving us this opportunity to talk to your crowd. Really excited to be here and we'll try to share as much useful information as we can. So my name is Ruchira Pokhriyal. I am much older than Saman and Kriti. So I actually moved to the US in 2018 for a Master's of Science in Cybersecurity. I chose University of North Carolina at Charlotte to pursue that degree. I am currently in New Jersey, and my home country is India as well. And what do I do in New Jersey? I work for the customer incident response team at AWS. And I think we can dive deep into which college, why did I choose this college and course as we go further in this session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ruchira. And I know Kriti talked about the course and everything. Why did she choose briefly? But if you want to add more things, Kriti, we'll come back to you. But Ruchira, if you can just enlighten us, like why that particular course? I know you would have applied to multiple colleges, but why you were more, attracted to that course from your university?
Right. So going back in time, like way back in time, I actually was working as a software engineer in India. And my specialty was in SQL. So I would develop a lot of SQL scripts for our customers. And while doing all of that, I came across, SQL attacks. And I think that kind of spiked more of my interest in cybersecurity. I decided to pursue a CCNA course on the side and as I started digging deep, my interest in security progressed. Um, and I did think that getting a degree from abroad would be a great option because My research back in India showed that most of the courses in some of the Indian universities were more theoretical, and job opportunity wise as well. There were not as many entry level positions directly, right? You have to work as a software engineer for a couple of years and then you get to transition to security. So then I started applying for universities in the US, and based on elective options that I had for UNCC, uh, along with cost of living in Charlotte, was why I chose that course in college. So if I have to go a little deep into that, my primary interest was to learn more about malware analysis, penetration testing, networking, and cyber defense. And these were all the elective courses that UNCC was offering. Other than that, the degree was comparatively affordable. I knew that I would be able to pay this educational loan off, without selling my kidneys. The cost of living in UNCC, in Charlotte or North Carolina, was pretty good as well. And also, one major reason why I chose UNCC is because North Carolina is actually home to one of the nation's top college towns. So which meant I'd have greater opportunities to attend multiple career fairs in different universities, also get to meet different students. It's always good to have a better network and better network of friends from multiple universities, and exchange information on what career fairs they are attending, which companies they're applying to. And right when I was about to finalize which university I have to go for, I spoke with many students about the coursework, part-time job opportunities, and even RA and TA opportunities in UNCC. And after weighing all the pros and cons, that's how I decided that, okay, overall UNCC would be a good option for me to join.
That really explains a lot, why you did chose the course, because I know that becomes a balance when you get the subjects and the fees is also up to a level that you can pay off, and that really goes hand in hand when you choose anything. At least what I've heard from the existing people that I have been in contact, these were the major two things that everyone used to prioritize. So anything
Exactly.
that you would like to add, Kriti, there with your course and selection?
I totally agree with Ruchira on the point. Like, if you want to start your career in India with cybersecurity, you do not get a lot of opportunities. Like, the percentage is very, very low, I would say. When I was graduating from my undergrad and I figured out that I was interested in cybersecurity, and I was preparing for GRE and everything because I had this in mind that I would go for my master's. But I was also looking at the jobs that were coming in the for the place, like they were coming in the university at that time, and there were none. Like all of them were just for software engineering, and a lot of people told me that you can do software engineering for like a few years and then go to cybersecurity. But I had this in me, like if I start with it, I don't know if that interest I would still continue with it, or I'll just go with the flow. I'll be like, okay, I'll be like a software developer, which I never wanted to, because I was like, if my interest is not there, I don't want to step into something. So I thought I'll look for the options for masters in cybersecurity. And my course was not exactly masters in cybersecurity. It was masters in information science. And they had an option that you can specialize in information security. And I chose that because in my undergrad, I was studying electronics and communications. I didn't have a computer background, so I could have gone for a master's in cybersecurity. But I thought if I go for a course that gives me a specialization, that'll have a few courses that'll give me a good computer background that I should have, even though I had taken a lot of electives in my undergrad. But I was still like, I felt like I was lacking somewhere. So that was my choice. And yeah, fees was also one thing that I was considering. Like I said, I chose UPED and not CMU at that time because when I was looking at the fee structure for both of them, So I was like, if I go to UPET, I'll still be able to interact with CMU students, take classes with them, and not have to pay the CMU fees. So that was a major thing. And Pittsburgh also is like a student city. Lot of students, lot of small universities as well as these two big universities. So the cost of living is comparatively, like if I see the other cities around, is on the lower side. So I guess all these parameters are very important if you're like planning it on your own and everything. So with as much as importance as you give on the course, these things also come into the play, because what if you cannot get a part-time job? How will you survive there? Or what if the cost of living is so high that you're spending a lot of time doing the part-time jobs and not like devoting your time on the courses? So yeah, all of that is like very important. Like it just like comes all together.
That's really a smart decision, while picking up college and seeing a lot of things. So I would say both of you made like really really wise decisions, and I guess you people are really proud of it because you're done with the degree and everything, and that really paid off well with those decisions being made. So with that being said, I just wanted to ask, like, for the audience to know, like, what semester did you people join your course? Like, was it fall semester, or was it spring semester, or was it summer semester? Any one of you can go first.
So I joined in fall. That was not like a decision I made consciously. It just like matched well with my timeline. I know many people join in spring as well. I've heard, pros and cons for both. Most of the folks choose to join in fall. Many do join in spring as well, but I've heard, and I'm not very sure if it's entirely true, but the vacancies in colleges is probably lesser if you join in spring semester. But this is something that I've not experienced myself. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I've heard the same for a lot of colleges, for my college as well. But what about you, Kriti?
I joined in fall. So initially I was about to join in 2020. I was just completing my undergrad and I had all in mind that I'll just directly go for master's. So fall semester came first. But then I had to defer it and I thought that I'll go in spring. But and I started working with a startup in India. So I thought when I started working and the conditions were still not good. So I still deferred it for more 6 months more. And I thought I'll take 1 year experience and come in fall. Because when you come in fall, there's a different feel as well. That's what I read about it. Like fall is the official semester when the university starts. So I had that in mind that I want to be there at that time.
Yeah, and it's the time when you have maximum opportunities in terms of college activities.
Yeah.
Plus, if you want to go for any short time internship or anything of that sort, that's the major market that opens up. But yeah, that's great. That's great. I've heard majorly fall for everyone. Uh, with that being said, because you both came to the same country, that's the commonality between you two. So, just wanting to know that, was there any other country that you also applied along with colleges here in the US, or was it just the US, and why? Why this particular country that you chose? So, I'll continue with you, Kriti, and then we'll move on to Ruchira.
So I also applied to Australia, which is just one university, but I was like, if I get there, I'll also try to like I'll also think to go there, because at that time, when I was choosing the country, the major thing was which country has a lot of job prospects for cybersecurity. And Australia was growing with it. Like they had a lot of opportunities coming, especially for entry level in cybersecurity. And I heard of this University of Melbourne, and I was like, I saw the campus and everything, just the pictures. I'm like, this looks good. The course structure was good, and yeah, so I applied to both the countries, basically just one university, but yeah, it counts as a country. So that was, and then I was actually planning to go there. I had everything planned. I also got the visa, but because of the conditions, like the conditions were not good because of COVID. And my second choice, I had like like first choice was that country, and then my second choice was if I don't get anything else. Like in US also, I had multiple offers. I thought the next option would be to go to Pittsburgh. That's
Okay. That's great. We're really, it's good to actually explore different countries and colleges as well. And, there are multiple colleges. Obviously, with different countries, I have explored that there are lesser number of colleges offering the same program. So it gives you lesser options. But here, when you apply in the US, they're like tabletop opportunities and colleges. So the number increases when you just switch on to this country. So yeah, that counts. What about you, Ruchira?
So why did I choose US and not any other country, including my home country? So I did a lot of research before deciding on US. Probably not. And back then I was thinking, oh my God, it's such a waste of time. Why can't I just make up my mind? But now I'm really glad that I took so many weeks just doing that research. And I believe Preeti mentioned two very good points in just now or in the previous question that if you're in India, job opportunities are less when you are a person who's just graduating from college, trying to get into security, because they expect you to have a lot of experience. Right. And that's the case pretty much everywhere. There's a huge gap in security. We need a lot of resources, but they also demand 10 plus years of experience. So India is no different. But I had that experience myself as well when I was pursuing my master's in computer science back in India. We had these career fairs, or we call it placements, I believe. So during that, I reached out to a lot of people, a lot of companies, saying that, hey, I know you're here to hire you're here to hire software engineers, but I'm actually interested in security. And none of those companies gave a positive review on, okay, yeah, we do give entry level folks opportunity to be a part of our organization in the security domain. Their reaction was like, hey, work with us for like maybe 5 years and then we'll transition you to security. Or, hey, we require like on-call rotations, and you need to come into office at night. So that's the reason why we don't hire women, because it might be unsafe, blah, blah, blah. So that was a reason why I thought India might not be a good option to start a career in cybersecurity right out of college, right? And I had UK in mind as well while I was finalizing countries and colleges. But ultimately, I chose the US for several reasons. First of all, I think 58 to 60% of digital security organizations are situated in the US. So you get a wide range of specializations. You get a wide range of top-notch universities. You get competitive work opportunities, job opportunities, and it's US is a huge country. We have more than 3,000 cybersecurity companies, and they are still continuously increasing. And also, like, with the rate of attacks and the need for security professionals, USA is forecasted to grow even more in the future. And some, non-negotiables, or like some really basic points in choosing the US was great education overall, because again, what Kriti mentioned, you get a lot of electives and different courses that you can mix and match. Another thing which was not possible in India, if I was studying, you're not allowed to choose your own courses, which we can do here. You have great education in computer science in the US. So 5 of the top 10 university in the world for computer science are situated in the US. And logistically, or like practically, if you think about it, most of the innovation and most of the leaders in the industries are also driven by US companies. So Palo Alto, Cisco, FireEye, AWS, Symantec, all of these companies are in the US predominantly. Yeah, I think, and many more reasons related to hiring, job opportunities, um, salary opportunities, how much you make in the US versus any other country, many other factors, but these were the most common one on top of my head is why I decided to come to the US and not any other country. One more thing I've noticed is people also prefer to come to the US. Not in my experience, I didn't know anybody when I came here, but I knew some people that were in the US. So I had a little bit more familiarity in terms of, oh, XYZ is in the US. Oh, that other person has gone to the US as well. So that familiarity, I think, added to the comfort that, at least some names in the US versus any other country where I might even have to learn another language, right? If I chose to go to Germany, I don't know German. So these were the basic reasons why I thought US would be an overall better option.
Yeah. That really resonates because I guess that's the point that we can agree on, that familiarity is really important when you have a lot of friends, family, colleagues, or people from the community that you're part of, and they're here spread across different cities, and that really keeps you going, that okay, I have people, they've been here for XYZ years, and I will be good. I can survive there if everyone else can. So yeah, I understand, like US for me also was land of opportunities, that you get the best of the best here that I may not get it in my home country or any other country. Like as of you all as well, I also applied to Canada as well for a couple of colleges. But yeah, obviously the options here, that I'll stick again to this point, are more as compared to any other country. The colleges, the opportunities and everything is, at a higher level here in the state. So yeah, coming to the point, like you came pretty early, Ruchira, 2018. For you, Kriti, it was 2021. Different cities. One was in Pittsburgh, one was in Charlotte. So I just wanted to understand, how was your transition phase when you came here, like landed, like just did your immigration and landed. So what were the things like logistically and, in the transitioning phase, how were things for you for the couple, like starting couple of months? So Kriti, you can go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was not able to unmute. Yeah. So, for me, I think it was very surprising, but I was very comfortable very quickly. Like, it could be because maybe I was living alone for my undergrad, like not alone, but then I was far from my family at that time as well. But when I came here, it was like I always want to do a lot of things by myself. Like, even though I love what is being cooked at my home and everything, but like I like to keep my meals like in a different portion or different kind of ways, and that gave me like a full flexibility that I could do it the way I wanted. And yeah, so and the city itself, initially I was like, I was doing that like the people do, like they change, like they keep like in their mind like how much will this cost, or how much will this be, or new to navigating maybe, like how will I navigate through and stuff. But I think Pittsburgh navigation was not a problem because it's a small, like it's a big city, but it's like a small city because everyone around you is a student. So the bus facilities and everything. So transport was not a problem for me. I could just easily navigate through, and I loved like how much variety of food I was getting, the kind of food that I wanted to eat. So I was very happy to be here. And moreover, I felt at that point that it was a good decision that I didn't go to Australia, because I was also a little inclined towards that point. Like my family would be near, it'll be like a 7 to 8 hour flight. I can just be to India like anytime. But then I realized when I came here, there's a direct flight from here as well. I can just be at home, like in another 14-15 hours. It's okay, it's like double the time, but more the kind of country that I wanted to be in. Like I always thought of that, if I live alone, I'll do this, I'll do that, and that all I could do. So
Yeah, that really counts because I know it's different for everyone. We'll probably hear from Ruchira as well in the next part. But for me, like that the major disadvantage was that I was living with my parents during COVID. So coming here was really a big step, and that point was there that I used to live with them for past 3 years, and now I'm here all alone and have to tackle everything up. So for you it just went great because with undergrad from hostel to moving to a new country with new opportunities, so that will really be a very exciting phase for you. So that's great. Yeah. What about you, Ruchira?
Oh my gosh. I might share a funny story actually. The moment I landed in the US, couple people from my college came to pick us all up because we did have an Indian association in my college that charged a small fee, but they helped you pick up from the airport, take you to where you're gonna live with the rest of the folks, student housing. Uh, when we landed, it was not like, oh my God, we are in the US, yay! We were all very tired, just wanted to go home. And when we actually reached to our student housing, realized there were no elevators. So we had to drag like 25 kg each bag up the stairs to the fourth floor with nobody else to help us. And the apartment was extremely dirty. So we just stood there like, what are we gonna do? And like for the next 2 hours, I think we just stood there waiting for our landlord to send people who would clean up our apartment. So that day was a complete disaster, I would say. But we spent the rest of the evening shopping for um, basic necessities like utensils, groceries for the next 2 weeks, maybe something that we can sleep on because we don't have any furniture yet. That was the initial like first week, I would say, and slowly we started getting more stuff and furniture, mattress, bed frame. So in terms of transition, here is my experience, but everybody's experience can be different. So everything is pretty nice in the beginning because you've not started your classes yet, right? So you do have like depending on when you choose to come to the US before your semester starts, you have a period of like 10-15 days where you're just getting to know people, you're exploring. So everything is nice. I've seen a lot of people go completely crazy on Instagram or social media. Yeah, we are in the US, let's go, living the dream, blah, blah, blah. And eventually it slows down because you really don't have any time when your semester starts and the reality hits you, right? So um, everything is nice in the beginning, then you move on to finding your place. Of course, work is so much more different than what we do in India, and that could require some adjustment. So it's a huge adjustment to your actual life. Many of us back in India have had the luxury to live with our parents or relatives, and we were able to get help from others almost immediately. But it's much different in the US, and you have to adapt to function independently. You have to cook your own meals every day, clean up after you cook, study, maintain good grades, do grocery shopping on your own, meal prepping becomes your best friend. You have to pay your own rent, assemble your own furniture. It's not like your parents can come and help you assemble. So it does help you develop into an independent adult. And as you go in that direction, there is also an isolation period. And this is the period when you start comparing your new life to your life back home, how you had people or your parents support, and not just like support in terms of helping you with your chores, but emotional support. And you almost compare your new culture in of your host country to the culture back in your country of origin. So you might feel super lonely, might miss your family, but there's nothing you can do about it. You have to adapt, and then eventually you move towards that stage of acceptance that, hey, I've come so far on my own. This was my decision to move to the US. This was all expected. So let's suck it up and adapt, right? So, yeah, I think that probably summarizes the transition period for any generic person who moves abroad.
I
How was
guess.
your experience, though, someone? I would like to know that.
Uh, I am still, into the process, drawing towards the acceptance phase, but I'm yet not to it. I would be very honest, because it's been just 10 months for me here, and, there were always a lot of downs, couple of ups. I am enjoying here. I will not deny the fact. I know there are a lot of opportunities here, and with opportunities, it's just not what you get in the college, but with the city where you're staying and everything. So I would really, really be counting on to those. But yeah, still that acceptance phase is yet to be, reached on to. So I'm waiting for that, and I really am saying yes to each one of your points that you people have had in the previous years, because that's the same. I am assuming it's with everyone, because there comes a denial phase where you think that, why I have come here, what is the bigger picture that I have seen for myself, and then you actually work towards it. So I would say there are a lot of adjustments that you do, a couple of compromises as well, but yeah, you come out good, and I am seeing you people, being, there at that stage excelling, and I'm really proud of that, that you took that step, came here, and now you are properly adjusted in different cities and doing everything on your own. So it's a great thing for everyone to see it, that you see like the good pictures on the social media, but yeah, they have actually made that look good by working towards it. So it's just not, the parties and the fun and going out and exploring the city. It's more of, you don't know, how people actually go through that phase. So that's
Mm.
really very important.
Most people don't post how stressed they are on social media.
I
But
know, I
Yeah,
know.
I was about to add that. Like, you get homesick very often. There are times when you see pictures, something happening at home, that homesickness really, really kicks in, and you're like, I just want to be back, and you're in a situation where you can't. But and then that's the time when you have to, for yourself, start looking for the positive sides and start doing things for yourself. But you can't show that to other people. Like, they will never know like what phase you went through. Like, if you just show like, okay, like you were just going through that phase and you did something to make yourself happy and you post about that, but the other person will never know, oh, what the person is going through. So
I completely agree.
And
yeah,
like the fact that you can't share a lot of your stressors with people back home because you don't want to stress them out. Because,
exactly.
anything bad happens in your life, you tell your parents, and then your parents get more stressed. Like, we can't even come there to help you, or, do you want to come back? And it's like, no, mom, chill. I just wanted you to listen. Or, friends, at some point, if you share with them and they'd be like, hey, why are you so stressed? You're in the US though. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, everyone just
Much
uh,
more difficult here.
yeah, everyone just thinks that we're like leading a very lavish life and everything.
Exactly.
I would just like to quote it here because I have this platform, so I would like to put it out there that, I understand coming to a different country really puts you at 10 times better lifestyle as compared to at least my home country and our home country. But it's just not a proof for you not, struggling and everything. So everyone has their fair shares of struggles here. You may have it differently than the other person, but you have it, because without struggles you do not come out better. That I have heard from a very good friend of mine, that with struggles you would be able to know and value that particular thing in a good way, rather than, you just be, taking it lightly, that okay, I came here, this, that, everything went perfect for me, nothing, no hiccups, nothing. So that will not make you of a good person, and you learn from a lot of your things from your experiences, and that you can give it out and for others actually to follow and take that trail. So that I would say I am 100% sure of. But apart from that, moving on, the very important question that, I and I guess both of you would have been reached out on a lot of levels is about the visa thing. And that's something, the elephant in the room that we talk about. And that's really difficult nowadays. If I just talk about India and the visa slots and everything. So, how were your experiences? So, this time, Ruchira will go with you first.
So my experience with visa was surprisingly nice. I was not expecting that because I was very scared. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it or not. Few things that I would like to share from my experience, and I'm not gonna go over the entire process. You can, many students are either aware of it or it's very easy to Google it. But one advice is make sure that you get your transcripts well in advance. Is what I'd like to tell everybody. And not just your transcripts, but if your university or the even if your university does not require it, I'd say it's a good option to get your mark sheets attested from the university, because sometimes it becomes a requirement. I think it's also a good document to have with you when you move to the US, and that does take time. So my university actually took a lot of time to attest my mark sheets, which was surprising because like it's a 2-minute task, but people in your university might be busy with other tasks as well. They might not understand how important it is for you to get those mark sheet attested. So I would say transcripts and mark sheets is something that you really need to, or you should do much in advance. The sooner you get it, the better. Uh, Also prep your SOPs and LORs in advance, because that would require a lot of changes as you start applying for universities, or especially if you're a working professional, you might add more pointers to your SOPs, LORs as you go. So I would say don't delay that process till the end, because towards the end it becomes very difficult to wrap up all of that stuff, and you'll be very stressed out because you have so many other things to deal with, starting with your visa, booking your visa appointment. That's another huge deal because the seats go away within seconds, and you both might have experienced this too. But if you're not on top of it, oh my god, like you either will have to go to an agent, pay some money, and you know ask them to find you a seat or an appointment, but make sure to um, get done all the things that you can do in advance, right? You don't have any control over how your interview goes. I mean, you kind of have a control over how it goes, but you don't have any control over the result, whether you get your visa, whether it gets rejected. But you do have control over getting your transcripts, getting your mark sheets attested, writing down and finalizing your SOP LORs, also different versions of SOPs and LORs for different universities that you are applying to. So getting all of that stuff done in advance will save you a lot of time. And I have noticed one thing, that when students go for their visa interview, it's good to prepare, but I would say don't learn the script. Because I remember when I was standing in the line for my visa interview, I was noticing all the students ahead of me, and there were a couple that sounded as if a record was just being played, and it's like, "Hi, my name is XYZ. I want to go to this university because," and I was like, "Oh my god, that sounds very, very scripted." And if I could notice it, I was pretty sure the interviewer was noticing it too. So it sounds very fake if you prepare a script. Maybe, it's good to practice in front of a mirror, but be honest and be be like, don't read out of a script is one huge suggestion that I would say. You can practice with your friends, ask for their honest opinion. Hey, is it sounding too scripted? Um, you know, do I look nervous? Do I look way too casual about it? And I think that would be the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I would strongly agree to that point, because when I was also prepping up, I thought that I should have the answers in my head, like each and every answer, and stressing on certain words that should come out of my mouth at that time. Those were the major things. But yeah, that was one thing that I also got a suggestion from everyone, that do not memorize it. Just keep it in your head that you have to say these 3 4 words. These should come out in your answer strongly, so that they know that okay, this and this and that. So yeah. What about you, Kriti? Like that was the 2018 experience we're hearing. What about 2021?
It was really bad. I was like, will I even to get me an appointment? It took me a month, and every day it used to be like, because at that time, it's very difficult to get the slots, and the COVID period was going on, so it was even more difficult. So the good thing was my father was helping me a lot. So at that time we had prepared the whole checklist and we got all the documents ready. And it took us 1 month, and it used to be, he used to get up early in the morning at around 4 o'clock to check if there's a slot. I used to sleep post 12 p.m. and be like around like 1 p.m. or something. I used to check if the slot open, because there's also a thing like how many times you can click on that website. So it counts. And we used to very efficiently just plan it like 3 times a day, like morning, noon, and then, because someone just told us like if you do it like late at the night or early in the morning, you'll get the slot, but that didn't really work. And there was this day we got to know that they're going to open some slots like in bulk, and that day the website went crazy. Like it was, you couldn't even load the page. We were trying it at our home, and then we went to a cyber cafe because I figured out they have better net speed. And then we literally, like, I think we refreshed for like 200 times. Like I was literally at a point counting, and then it just showed that there was a slot, like there was a verification that happens first, slot for the next day. And I told my father, let's see, I'll just take it. Like that's the only thing that's available right now. And I got that, and I got the interview just after that day. So I remember it was 14 June, I got my verification, and 15 June was my visa date. And this all happened on 13 June. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I literally have no time to prepare, even though all my documents were ready. But then there are a few like bank statements and everything. We were thinking like we'll get it. So we'll have like at least a week time. At that time, we'll get them printed. And this was 13th noon. And the bank, at that time, we had to go to the bank and get everything in the bank was supposed to close in an hour. We were like running. We were like running to get everything. So that was one lesson that I had in my mind. It's okay. Like, if don't we just keep waiting for that last point? Okay, once I get the appointment, I'll get the bank statement and everything. It's okay if you get it at the start of the month. It's fine. They're not gonna say like, oh, this is not the most recent. Like this was in my head that everything should be most recent, but that really doesn't matter. But I got, and when I really didn't have a lot of time to prepare for the interview. I I did take down a few questions like when I was looking for the appointments and going through, okay, this is how I should answer, this is how should I answer, and literally in a day, and I was just like, I have to be natural, I have to be natural and show them that like why I really want to be there, and I think that really helped me. But when I even think of it, it gives me like those nightmare chills. Like that time was very difficult to get the visa. Yeah.
I
But
I
I think
yeah, I
it's not the
totally agree.
same for everyone. It
Yeah.
was just that time.
Yeah. I've even had a conversation with a lot of folks at that time. They were like, "No, we got the slots and everything," and I was like, it was a phase that for a month I was prepping up on the documents, and there were no slots. I was trying every day. I even got my account logged as well for 72 hours, because I got so irritated that why is it just me? I'm not getting the slot. Then I got it in a different city altogether. Then I got rescheduled it to, I wanted it in Delhi. So I got that rescheduled, everything. Then, watching a lot of videos, talking to a lot of people from my college and others as well to prep up. So it was very cut to cut for me. Like I had to fly on 15th August, and my visa interview was on 5th August. So it was pretty cut to cut for me because the offer letter came late and then the process and everything. So I just lost hope that I may have to shift it to a different semester. But fortunately, everything happened. I had to skip my first class though, but the college was very generous enough to take me for that semester, and just I had missed one class and the orientation. So yeah, that was the process. So visa for me is like a big nightmare. At that time I was just following couple of telegram groups and everything, and there were some times, okay, this time, that time, and I was following that, but none of them worked. It just worked up like this, like one day a slot came up for a different city and then I had to reschedule it after a couple of weeks when I wanted it somewhere else. But that's something that I don't want to go back into because that was the worst time. I know the interview was very chill, like just 15-20 seconds I was done and I just ran off. But the process is very grilling, like very grilling. So
Exactly. I mean, nobody would like to go back to their visa interviews, I believe. Everybody who has been through it, especially, there are also a lot of rumors around the time of your visa interviews. And you mentioned a great point, actually. That is something that people who are watching this should note down to be a part of different student groups, because there are people who would post in those groups that, hey, I just booked an appointment. I noticed that these many slots are open. So it's good to be part of those groups and keep checking them regularly for any updates. Um, but yeah, another big point that you mentioned, offer letter coming late. So you can't really book a visa appointment until and unless you've got an offer. Um, that's something that you don't have control over, but you do have control over other things that you can prep much more in advance. So I agree with both you and Kriti. You don't have to wait till the last minute. Consolidate and finalize all of your documents, mandatory as well as non-mandatory documents, and then worry about booking an appointment and getting an offer letter.
true. That I would really suggest everyone, because there's just not one document, and it's not that the visa officer asks you for those documents. It's just you need to carry that 4-5 kgs document holder with you, because anytime if they ask you, you have to present it. So be it your college work, be it your I-20s, be it your financial documents, be it the CA documents, you need to have everything, and that just takes a lot of time for everything to get printed and be in a hard copy. So I would really suggest everyone to have those documentations ready before you go, or else it's really a scene for you, to be running around for all those documents. But I guess visa always stands out to be the worst part for most of the people. But when we come down to the part that we are here and we got the visa, that's like the excitement we have, that we're finally going. It's just we now have to catch the flight and prep up with our packing and everything. But with that being said, with your college life, we've discussed a lot of the things regarding to the process, the course, the way you came here, why you came here, and everything. When it came down to the job opportunities, once you both were done with your grad, how was it? Like, I know, Kriti, for you, it was down in the layoff time, or maybe at the very initial ends of it, but still in that particular area. But how was it for you, Ruchira? Like, either of you can go first with the job opportunities.
So for me, uh, searching for a job is always stressful, especially when you are not a US citizen. It does reduce your options to have. And then the options that you have available, it becomes very competitive because there are so many other people who have come to the US. Many people are very, very experienced than you are. Some are freshers, and some are somewhere in the middle if you've had like a couple years of experience. But it becomes very competitive. It falls down to what your approach is to finding a job. Are you reaching out to people on LinkedIn? who are you reaching out to? Are you reaching out to people for referrals? Are you reaching out to hiring managers? Are you on Indeed or any other job search portal? Do you have any connections? Some people have worked for a company for a good amount of time and they move to the US because their company has a branch in the US. So sometimes they make a deal or they show that, hey, I've already worked for this company in India. Would you give me a job opportunity to continue the same work here? So there are so many different parameters that you deal with while you're searching for a job and the competition. In my case, I decided to graduate in 1.5 years instead of two. And my main, I had a little bit of a filter, which I don't know was a right thing or something wrong, but I really wanted a job in California because in my head, I was okay, Silicon Valley, you have many better opportunities there. So, and I think probably many people have that mindset that, it has to be California. Um, so I was really trying to get a job there, but for some reason I didn't. My idea was to secure a job first and then keep applying for other jobs in the city that I prefer. So I got a job. It was in Bloomington, Indiana. And I didn't even know that that place existed. And I was still applying for other jobs, but COVID happened. So I was like, damn it. Like this had to happen. And I was actively interviewing even after I got my job. Um, and I had not started yet or was just about to start. And I actually got in as well in a company that I really wanted. I'll not take the name here, but the role got cancelled because of COVID. And I think I was a mess after I heard that because that was a job that I really, really worked hard for and really wanted. Like I prepped for months for that job and I waited a long time as well. So I think sometimes it's a company's, I don't want to call it fault, but I don't know, some companies take a lot of time to get back to you and it can take a toll on somebody like a student who's like desperately waiting to hear back. So the job role that I wanted got cancelled and I was not super happy with Bloomington, Indiana, especially during COVID, because although Bloomington is a college town as well, during COVID, it was like a graveyard. There was nobody there. I didn't know anybody at all. My roommate was not that great at the time. And that was my only hope. So I opted for a roommate thinking that it's a new city. If you have a roommate, you can easily make friends, but that went south pretty quick. And being a bisexual woman of color in Bloomington was not a very good thing for me because I was very afraid to come out for several reasons. Which is why I decided to keep applying. And eventually, when things got a little better, I um, cleared Amazon interviews and got into AWS. But that was my experience. Even when there were no layoffs, it was COVID and things were pretty darn difficult. But I think Kriti would be able to give you a better idea on recent job searches.
Yeah, go ahead, Tritiya.
So when I came to US and someone just told me that you're already late to apply for internships. September was starting. I was like, I'm late to apply for internships. I got so scared. I was like, I have to intern in the summer and I'm already late. I was like, I have nothing on my resume that just stands me out and shows that I can. I don't know why. I had that like I was underconfident at that time. I was like, I don't have anything on my resume. I was like, I'll work for it just for a month. I'll not do anything. I'll try to come up with something that I can show or be there that even if I apply in October, I have an internship in my hand before summer. And but the good thing was my university, they have a like not a like a career department like they have in India, but then they had something which used to guide you, like people used to guide you there. And someone guided me there really well that when you're looking for jobs, first just start with making a list. Like make a list of the companies that you want to go to and the companies that would take you as an international student. And then see what how you have to prepare for the roles that you're looking for. So I did this whole segregation. Initially, I was all confused, like, what am I doing? Just like these sheets of papers that I'm filling in. But that segregation really helped me. And then someone told me that if you get a good internship, there's a high chance that they convert it to full time. And that was another criteria. Then I was when I selected the companies, I literally applied for more than 100 companies just for my internship. And I after applying, I used to check, do they give a comeback offer? Do they give a comeback offer? That used to be like that became my top Google search, the company name and the comeback offer. And I used to read so much about it. Uh, but somehow after like all the struggle, I landed an internship. When I landed an internship, I remember I reached out to someone and I told her, like, I wanted to get exactly the same thing that I got, but the problem is I don't have that much experience in that area. So I'm so scared, like, how am I going to perform there? And what if I do not perform the way they want me to perform? Will I get a comeback offer? I was literally before my internship started, I was studying for the internship. And my semester before, in my spring semester, along with the courses that I was taking, I was doing some study for my the internship that I was going to do. That really helped me. Like that gave me a comeback offer. And at that time, I had in mind, okay, I have a comeback offer, exactly the role that I wanted, everything. But I'll keep looking on the side, like not actively, but I'll keep looking. What if I get something even better? And I don't know why. There were two things. The situation of the market was really bad. I thought rather than focusing more on, oh, I should find a better company, I should focus on what I already have and like I should not lose that thing. And the second was I I was very happy. Like I had that whole semester for myself to explore whichever electives I wanted to, be it those electives that took a lot of time or the electives which were easy, which I didn't like. I took all difficult four courses in my last semester, but that advice of like initially that a comeback offer can come from an internship, I thought was a very wise one that really helped me. Like I've worked for it. It took me time, but then it gave me what I wanted. So, and a lot of people I saw, they did not do an internship, which I felt like should not have done that, because looking at the market, like we didn't know how the market is going to change. Like when we'll be graduating, like I graduated in 1.5 years, but some of my batchmates, they graduated in April, like last month. So I felt like they should not have waited or thought like it's okay if we don't do an internship at that time, because we were not aware what's going to happen. If the market would have been better, it's all good. But if you have the internship, it counts. Even if you don't get a comeback offer, it counts as a US experience that helps you a lot when you're finding the job. So I would say internship is a very important part of your course. You should never like think of like, be it any company, it doesn't matter if it's a startup or it's a big company, just go for it. Just do it, because that is really going to help you. Some of my friends, they did not get a comeback offer, but then that 3 month of experience really helped them find a job. So that was a very
That
fun thing I would focus on. Like just go for it.
Yeah, because whatever experience so far you have listed down on your resume is of your home country, or maybe if you're fresher, or you're just starting up with that particular field. But with that 3 month thing, that really really counts a lot. I am in the current job market, and I am really happy that I have that experience of my internship that is still going on, and I can just walk them through, okay, I'm working here right now on these things and this and that. So that really counts that you have that US experience and you're building that up, or any other country that you go for. So I know the job market is really pathetic, really thin. I don't know when it will get better. I've had like miserable moments with organizations as well, but yeah, it just keeps you moving. It just makes you more comfortable with all those rejection emails at a time, that okay, you land up, because I've applied to like zillion organizations, got this internship. So I was like, okay, if it took me that much for this internship, okay, it's okay. I will just expect that for that full-time job also, it will take me a lot of rejections and a lot of struggles, but I will somehow crack it. But I just wanted to say it aloud to everyone that it's just not your hard work that you put in. It's a bit of your luck as well that plays out here. So it is not correct to blame yourself that you're not getting it. You're putting in a lot of efforts but still not getting it. So there is a portion of luck that also gets into there. So just putting that aloud.
Yeah, to add to that, see, we all have, and to this date, this statement gives me chills. We regret to inform you that. Uh, you'll be seeing a lot of that. Don't stress too much, like someone says. And another thing that I would like to add is, please don't compare yourself to your friends who are getting internships sooner than you have. Um, it's a matter of application, which you all will not apply to the same companies, no matter how much you sit together and apply. Um, and your resumes are gonna differ based on your experience. So it's very unfair to compare yourself with others, or even like berate somebody and be like, how did that person get an internship before me? They don't even know shit. So I would say just be happy that your friends or your peers are getting internships, because if they are getting a good news, you might not be far away from it too. So yeah, be grateful and be confident. Don't hate others or yourself.
And probably touch base with your friends for referrals. That would be the best part.
Eh, exactly, like don't don't burn bridges
Yeah.
by comparing yourself to others or hating on others. If somebody has got an internship, don't be ashamed to ask them if they would be able to share the hiring manager's email with you, or if they can put a referral and be like, hey, you just hired me. I have another friend who has great experience. Would you have another opening for this person as well? So yeah,
Yeah.
all great points.
Also, the person who got internship first, you can also talk to that person like what they were doing or how they were doing it. Maybe that also helps you.
Following somebody's trails, and if it does work for you, I would say go for it, because at the end of the day, we all want a job, we all want to earn. So that's something you can do, that rather than cribbing. This would be the next positive point there. So since we're talking about jobs and everything, just wanted to ask more that the course that you applied for and did your grad, and now the role that you're working for, how does it align with each other? Was it something that you wanted to do? Was it something that you learned back in your college degree? So how was that for you both? So Kriti, will go with you first.
So, as I mentioned earlier, like my aim was to explore cybersecurity and but with also getting a few basics clear for the computer science. So I was taking electives for each, like I started with the basic security course, and then I took something on the cloud security, and then I picked something on the blockchain. So I had an opportunity to take courses which would align with the application security. Like in the application security, I work in a DevSecOps. So my university had an open choice, like I can take courses. So that really helped me. Like I took courses, like when I did my cloud course, the course that I took, there were two courses in which I could study about the Docker and Kubernetes. Kubernetes, they were not going deep. They were just giving like a overview of it, but then the Docker, they were going deep into it. So I took that course rather than the other cloud course. So they also had in the courses they had like a beginner one or something like an intermediate one. So that really helped me, I would say. And in the last semester, as I was saying, I even though I wanted to go into application security, I always wanted to explore penetration testing. I had never done anything related to the red team, and I was like, I want to see how that really is. What if I end up doing that rather than doing something that I think that I should do? And I took a course for which my company allowed me to work with another company like the whole semester. That course was like I was working with them, I was learning, I was working on the real time machines and real time projects and doing the red teaming for the company. So that was very much open, which I, even if I compare from India, I think at one point Richard said in India the courses are more of theory, and I totally agree on this point. Like if I have gone for a master's in cybersecurity, they, even though I would have took a course of penetration testing, they would have never allowed me to explore it like hands on and see how exactly it is to be in a company and do that for them. So which was really, really like helpful. And I would say totally amazing that I got to do that. So, and I think all the universities which offer courses give you these opportunities here. And you just have to find, like, if you feel you're interested in one particular kind of field or something or a niche area, just try to take the course, explore the courses. Like if you're going to take the course, talk to seniors or talk to the professors, like how the course structure is going to be, read about the curriculum. That will help you a lot, like that aligns with your interests. So
Yeah, totally. Because a lot of the things that you learn during your college degree, if theoretically also you're learning it, somehow you are using all those things. So with my current internship as well, the prior 5 years experience that I have and the 2 semesters that I've done, those are just playing together with my current internship, and I'm able to buck up with all those things. But there are also things that I don't know about and that I have to study about during the free time or during the office hours. So that goes without saying that learning is there, what you have learned and what you are learning. So with the mixture of that, it really works with you. So that's great. Ruchira, what about you?
So I agree with everything that Kriti mentioned, and it's similar for me. So at some point, I would say, especially when you're deciding to choose on which degree you want to pursue if you are going abroad, it's very important to take a lot of time and think why you want to do that degree from this country, and do you really need it? Um, I have seen a lot of people get into computer science, masters of computer science, and uh, when you talk to them, why they don't really have a good reason why they chose it. It's mostly because, hey, my friend was choosing it, so I chose it too, or I just wanted to come to the US. Um, that's great. You wanted to come to another country, get the experience, but it's very important to know that you're spending a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And if you're especially somebody who's taking an educational loan, you have to make sure that you're able to pay it back in time. Um, so it's a huge investment, and one should only make that investment if you know why you are going to need this degree and how it's going to be helpful. Um, because once you come here, the courses are going to be very rigorous, which do help you finding a job, or at least making it easier for you to find a job, right? And that's how that investment pays off, because the courses that you take in university are going to be very hands-on, which is especially different from our college work back in India. It's much less theory, very point to point answers. You don't have to fill an entire sheet of paper to get like 5 out of 5. Even if you have the right answer, which consists of like, I think, 10 letters, it's good. You will get 5 on 5. So it's a lot more practical approach here, which you see in the industry as well. It's almost as if you write an optimized code, it works if you're a software engineer versus writing a 500 line of codes and it still works. The optimized one will be chosen, right? So your courseworks give you that confidence or that foundation of being right and precise. So for me, I wanted to get into web application security as well when I was in college. Um, and pen testing was one of the courses which was being offered, which I did not take because I heard from a lot of my seniors that the course was pretty outdated. But what I did instead is I started like scheduling 30 minutes a day to learn the basics myself, which was not always possible because you have your part-time jobs as well and you get tired. But I made sure to at least, watch YouTube videos while cooking or, just read something in the bus. And that did give me a good idea of, maybe if not much, I understood what a vast top 10 is, and not just the theory, but the practicals as well when I did the free labs, which helped me crack my first interview as a web application pen tester. And it did help a lot. And that was not possible without my experience from my other courses around basic security as well, such as cryptography, cyber defense. I did a course on digital forensics. So all of that, I think, provided a great foundation for me to even find an internship. Uh, and your internship experience, which gives you like a real life experience working in the industry. Again, what Kriti says, it's important that you have an internship in the US. If you don't get it, that's again something that you cannot control. But if you can get it, try your best to have that 3 months of experience, because that will just bolster all the knowledge that you have accumulated in your college days, and that will be a foundation for your next full-time job. If you are getting a full-time offer from your current company where you're doing your internship, it's great. If you don't, or even if you don't want to continue to work in that company, you still have experience. So I think the coursework um, is very relevant if you pick the courses in a mindful way. If you're just going for easy courses, okay, this will give me a 4.0, I don't think it's going to be that helpful. But if you have decided what would be your niche, like Kriti said, and you pick courses based on that, then it's super. It's powerful.
That goes without saying that, learning is the curve here, that it can never stop with any of the time frame. If you've gotten a job as well, the learning still continues if you want that. I know there are a couple of positions that, you don't know the subject area actually very, in a very precise manner, but still, at least if you have that thing, that the basics of it, and you mentioned that during the interview, that really counts a lot, that okay, we need to just work on few bits with the person, and then he or she can, handle the work and everything. So that also really counts with the job thing. And yeah, with the job market very thin, I hope so things get better eventually. But yeah, there are a lot of things, lot of opportunities still out there that you can pick up. And yeah, it's just the hard work and the luck that plays together. So with that being said, we're really drawing to the end of the podcast, but my very next question is, when you people were coming here in the for your masters in the new country, so there would have been few things that you would have thought back at home, that this is something that I would be able to crack it, and I'll be able to do it, it would be a cakewalk for me. But it didn't happen it that way, and there were things, or there was a thing that you thought that it would be really really difficult for me to cope up with, but you did that more smoothly. So anything, any examples that you can quote off for these two situations? So starting with you, Kriti.
So I used to always think that when I meet people, it's very easy for me to like talk to them or get along with them. But when I came here, it was not the case. I thought that it's okay. Like there's gonna be a lot of Indian community. I'm gonna interact with them, and I'll find friends. But it's not easy. It's you think, but then you don't know what the other person is like. Why are they talking to you? Do they really want to talk to you, or are they talking to you for a reason? And it gets really difficult at points. Like you're already struggling with a lot of things. Trying to keep yourself, for me, used to be like the food. I used to keep myself happy with the food. Like whenever I'm like in a stress mood, I just go cook or like go eat outside. And even that was not helping because you are alone. You're not like with your family or something that even if you had a bad day, you can just go back home and forget that all what all happened during the day. You're still gonna be around those people. So that totally changed me as a person, I would say. I totally became a different person. Now I'm like, I can talk to anyone. I'm very comfortable with that. But I'm very cautious now, like how I talk to people or how I express myself in front of anyone or in everyone. But yeah, that was a very big lesson for me. Like, you can't, it just said that be you, but that you can't be you at all the times.
And something that you thought that would have been difficult for you but was a cakewalk?
That was a cakewalk for me.
Not
Um,
just a cakewalk, but went smoothly. Like you were like, oh, it was that easy. I thought like it would take me some time to adjust to it or some time to get through it. That thoughts.
that was cooking. I used to never cook at home. And
Hmm.
and I was in hostel before, so you just use an electric kettle and you just boil things, and that's how you used to cook. So my mom was like, when I was coming, you have to cook your food, you have to do this. And then she used to say me, but never allow me to be in the kitchen. And when I came, I was so scared, like I'll have to survive on the outside food. And it was so easy. Like I don't know how, but it just became that my comfort space for me. And the person who used to not know how to even chop things was doing everything, and I was really happy about it. That I talk about food a lot because I love food a lot. But yeah, like that became my comfort place, and it was easy for me. I thought it's gonna be tough, but it was not really tough.
Perfect, perfect. What about you, Ruchira?
So first of all, I'd like to say, Kriti, we have to meet sometime very soon over some drinks and chat because I think we've had very similar experiences when she talked about, you know, how she's able to talk to people, but then it's different. I would really feel that. And there are like a couple jokes going around, one of which is, you may survive with a bad partner, but you cannot survive with bad roommates. So make sure that you choose your roommates properly. And I think that is one example in my life that was like not very smooth for me. When I was choosing roommates, I did not take a lot of time thinking who I'm gonna be spending, almost 2 years of my life with. I was more cautious about, hey, I need to find a place before I run out of places. And I think that was a bad choice, right? I should have put a little more thought into the people that I was going to live with. And like Kriti said, back then my mindset was, I'm an extrovert. I get along with most people, so this shouldn't be too difficult. But things changed quite quickly for me after the first semester. Not saying roommates were wrong or I was right or, I was wrong, they were right, but just, different mindset and thoughts not aligning created a lot of fights. In a very hostile environment at some point when nobody was talking to each other, and it was very difficult to live in that environment or even come home. So I would spend my nights in the library just studying because I knew I wouldn't have any mental peace if I go back home. So that was something very difficult because I realized that your environment plays a very important role in your well-being, especially your mental health. So if I could go back in time, that was something that I'd put some more thought into, finding better roommates, and maintaining healthy boundaries with people. You know, even if you're living with people, you become friends. You don't owe it to anyone to share everything that you are doing in your life. um, you have to have healthy boundaries with people and stop them if they cross it, right? That's how you protect yourself. And that was something I was really bad at, and I did not think that I would survive it. My biggest fear was isolation, especially during COVID. I was in a very bad mental state. Bad roommates, some racist incidents, not being able to come out as bisexual, um, not being able to, see my friends or family back in India because you can't travel. I was in a very dark place, and I didn't think I'd be able to come out of it soon. But I did, and now I'm thriving. I found BBWIC, which is a great community that really, really, really helped me be myself again, I would say. And now I live by myself and I don't feel lonely or alone. And I did not expect myself to be living alone because I was, I think, almost scared. Um, you should have somebody at least in the other room. Uh, but no, I love it now. So this was a piece of cake for me, which I was like, oh, I never would have thought that I'd be able to do this myself. And very, very basic things, but it makes you so proud because 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that I'd be able to assemble all this furniture on my own, buy my own TV, buy my own, brand new desk, or, be a part of conferences and talk on diversity and inclusion issues, or even come out as a bisexual woman. And it was always such a big deal in my head, but when I actually did it, it was pretty liberating and it was really easy. So yeah, those are a couple things that I feel like, um, in terms of accomplishment or in terms of bad decisions as well that I've done. But even with bad decisions, I learned a lot from them and will not repeat the same mistakes. So yeah, you learn some along your journey.
Yeah, I would really say that it's just not you're here for opportunities and everything you are, but this country also and all the incidents and everything really teaches you a lot of things, lets you explore yourself, lets you enjoy your own company, because you cannot be dependent on anyone here with anything. So, that's the fact. And I'm really proud of you too, that you people shared that experiences. That's really difficult to actually talk about all these things so nicely, because you've been over it and you have experienced that, so that it comes out more naturally for others, that these things may happen with you too, but everything shall pass and there would be good times as well, that you would be laughing at those times that I did that, or I behaved that, or I thought like that. So it's just a matter of time that you have to reach to this space where you can openly talk about all your struggles. And that is why, it's very precisely said, when you have struggles, you're able to relate to life, and importance of everything holds a lot of place there. So with that being said, we're almost end. We're just ending with one last thing that I would want both of you to quickly sum up, like anything, any message that you have for people sitting on the other ends and watching and wanting to be part of University of Pittsburgh or University of North Carolina, and they wanted to come here to study, or anything, just anything that you want to give them out for them to have that piece of advice from, seniors like you two, from these colleges. So, Kriti, you can go ahead.
So I would say don't be like this. This one thing in India that everyone goes crazy about. Like this is a good university, or these are the top universities that I should be going to. Just look for the right university, the university that is right for you. That's not right by the rankings or the numbers. It could be a university. that is not really ranked really high, but fits everything perfectly. Like everything about the university fits perfectly for you. So just go for it. There's going to be a lot of difficulties, but there's going to be a lot of good times as well. You'll be really happy when you do small, small things by yourself, for yourself. So it's a process, it's a journey, and there are going to be a lot of negatives, a lot of positives as well. Just try to focus on those positives, because if you start focusing on those negatives, it gets really difficult. Because after all, you're actually alone. You're like, you're doing everything alone, even though you have a lot of people, but as a person, you have to handle yourself. So just focus on the positives and keep going.
That's great. Thank you, Kriti. What about you, Richira?
So adding to what Kriti says, I think and most of the people come here, not just Indians, any person from any other country comes here and starts doing things independently. I think you grow massive respect for your parents. Not that you don't respect them, but it just doubles, because the amount of work that they have done for us our whole life, you just realize how much your parents do for you. And you really feel um that void when they are not there to help you with things, and you have to do those things yourself. So I'll just give a little very funny example. There's this once that I was supposed to go out for a couple days and meet my friends, and I was living at a friend's place, and my friend didn't know how to cook. So I prepared some food for him for like the next 2 days, and I was like, "Hey, I prepared some food for you. Make sure you eat it." And I was very happy about it. I was like, okay, I'm not leaving that person hungry. When I came back home, I saw bags of, Chipotle. And I was like, did you not eat that food? And my friend goes, oh, I had to get up to heat it, right? So I just ordered Chipotle. And I felt so bad, because I put so much work into preparing that, slaving myself away in the kitchen and making those meals for my friend. And then I realized something, and I called my mom and I apologized to her for all the time that she cooked and me and my sister ordered pizza and food from outside. And I'm like, I'm so sorry that I did not realize how much work you were putting in. And my mom's reaction was like, no, it's my duty. And I was like, but it's not. And that made me so sad. So after that incident, I think I've realized the value of cooking so much more, and you just develop massive respect for your parents who've done so much for you. And you don't see that in the moment, especially when you're living such a comfortable life. But when you are taken out of that comfortable life into the real world, where you have to do everything on your own, you realize how much your parents have done for you or suffered, you know, in the process of helping you. So, to all the students out there, if you're here preparing for your GRE or whatever, how much ever time you have left in India, try to help out your parents as much as you can, because you're gonna have to do it for yourself anyway when you come here. So, and another thing I'd like to say is, and this goes out to all of my LGBTQIA siblings back in India or any other country. If you're coming to the US, I know it's much much more about studies and finding the right degree, or also coming to another country so that you can be yourself. And that is a very big factor in choosing to move out of certain countries. Be confident. Things might not change immediately for you here. I took a lot of time to come out as bisexual, because in my university, especially in my coursework, there was still a lot of Indians, and unfortunately not a lot of open-minded ones. So I always struggled to come out because I had a fear of being bullied. I have seen a couple friends even recently who got bullied for being trans. So to rest of the students who are straight, cisgendered, please be nice to people around you. You don't know everybody's stories. Especially if you're coming to another country, you're accepting their culture, try to be open-minded. Especially to LGBTQIA kids, because there are so many of us who are struggling with our identities and are suicidal. So don't push them to the edge. try being nice, and especially with Pride Month coming up, I think that would be a good advice. Try to educate yourself on LGBTQI rights and issues, and be nice to people. Be open to being friends with people from other cultures. That's also a big one, because I've seen a lot of and I can only talk about the Indian crowd, not anybody else, because I belong to it, but I've seen a lot of Indians sticking together even after coming to the US, and that's like human tendency. We gravitate towards something which is familiar. Try It's a good thing, but try exploring as well. Try being friends with people from other culture, learn from them, because there's going to be a huge difference. And uh, once you start working, you don't get to pick who you work with. You will be working with people from different cultures. You need to adapt. You need to learn how to be polite to everyone. You need to know how to manage difference in opinions. So if you start doing that from when you are in college, it's going to be very helpful for you when you get to work. And it would avoid a lot of unconscious bias as well. Another term that you should look up if you're hearing it. So yeah, I think those are all the um, pointers that I wanted to share. And yeah, be confident, have fun. It's a long journey, but it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, it's a long and tough journey with a lot of experiences you'll have, but for good. It's for good. But before we close off today, any advice that you have, Kriti, for the month, Pride Month, that you wanted to give out to the crowd?
Oh, Kriti, you wanna go first?
Oh, okay, sorry.
I talked a lot. So
So I would say just be open. Like they are as much like as same people as you are. It doesn't matter if they are from a different community. I would say rather this is the Pride Month, and if you know someone, talk to them, talk to their get to know about their struggles, and make them more feel more comfortable because they're no different than any other human being you're interacting with. So don't create that difference. If you start thinking that way, then the difference comes. And if you don't, if you just consider it's a normal thing, it's a normal thing. Just don't think it differently.
And that's really a great statement that, anything that you can start up with, like something very to begin with, is to be open and being open to each one of us. And that just is something really very normal of, having a conversation and not letting them feel it that you're having a conversation with them, but it's as natural and organic as possible. So that's something you can start up with. And I know you would be knowing a lot about other people as well, and that's something good to interact with everyone. So, yeah, Ruchira, you wanted to add anything?
Um, I'd say I'm very excited for Pride, especially being a part of this community. I get to come out and show support for my LGBTQIA siblings and also educate others about the struggles that I have personally been through. And it took me so many years. I came out when I was 27, I'm 29 now. So it took me so many years to, first of all, accept that I'm bisexual, because I was in a denial. So for me, it was a long journey. I know the struggle, I know the stigma around it. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through it. And it shocked me to see, while I was still in denial, of how many of my friends and really good friends are homophobic. So my idea of Pride is that Pride is all about acceptance and love. So if you can be as accepting, open-minded, and loving, everybody has their own identity. Everybody is a different person. So if you can accept your identity and be proud of it and open about it, another person deserves the same right as well. And you have no right to hate on it. So be as open minded as you can and support people who need support, especially in times like this in the US. Support the LGBTQI community, because um, we need support to be our true selves and express our identities. So happy Pride to everyone, and I hope it's a fun one for you.
Yeah, Thank you so much. And that goes without saying that, have lots and lots of celebrations this month. And in whatever ways you can be part of this celebration is something would be great to be an ally and, at least start to be an ally and then probably progress towards things and interactions and everything. So, with that being said, we are ending with our current episode, and it's really, really glad to have you both. I know we have covered all sections from college to job to communities to how you can be part of the Pride Month and Pride celebrations, everything. And I'm really glad of that whatever you both experienced at your different years, that could actually reach out to maximum number of people and they could learn from it. And obviously they would be connecting down to you. I would be linking your social media handles and you could just reach out to the folks and ask them as many questions as possible, because you never know what answers could actually lead to good ways for you. So with that being said, I hope everyone stays safe, celebrate and get more aware about the month. And, good luck to all the activities that you have planned for this fall. If anyone is coming to either of the colleges, these two girls would be very happy to help. And with that, I am signing off and we'll be back with another episode soon. Bye.